Is Trump about to get rid of every gun law with one executive order? Well, let's talk about it and see exactly what he did. So it's no secret that there are way too many laws on the books regulating firearms. And here in California, we tend to focus on just the California laws. And we think it's all about the states, and there are hundreds of horrible gun laws. But the federal government has actually gotten pretty bad too. Nowhere near as bad as the state of California, but it's increased its badness in the last few years. So thanks to Clinton and Obama specifically, and the Biden administration, they've actually increased federal gun regulations, and it's not good. So federal gun laws have increased since basically the 90s. The big one was the assault weapons ban that started in the early 90s under Clinton. And then, of course, no thanks to the Bush administrations. The Bush administrations, the Bush Senior and Bush Junior, didn't really do a whole lot to help us. Didn't do much of anything to help us. The assault weapons ban sunsetted under the younger Bush, but they didn't really do anything. They didn't really help us in any way. There's really been no fight back from the executive branch until now. So I've long said that Trump is the best Second Amendment president that we've had in a century, maybe more than a century. That doesn't mean he's perfect. It just means that he's better than the last dozen or so presidents, 24 presidents. And yes, that includes Reagan. Reagan didn't particularly do anything helpful when it came to Second Amendment. Now, he was endorsed by the NRA. He wasn't horrible, but he wasn't great. He wasn't great. In fact, when he was governor, he did some real harm. But Trump's actually doing something significant in his first, 2 weeks of being president. So he issued an executive order that on February 7th that is specific to the Second Amendment. And I wanted to talk about it and talk about exactly what we can maybe expect and some of the problems, some of the positives. Okay, so it reads, by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. Section 1, purpose. The Second Amendment is an indispensable safeguard of security and liberty. Powerful words right off the bat. It's preserved the right of the American people to protect ourselves, our families, and our freedoms since the founding of our great nation. Because it is foundational to maintaining all other rights held by Americans, the right to keep and bear arms must not be infringed. Again, powerful purpose. Section 2 is the plan of action. Within 30 days of the date of this order, the Attorney General shall examine all orders, regulations, guidance, plans, international agreements, and all other actions of executive departments and agencies to assess any ongoing infringements of the Second Amendment rights of our citizens and present a proposed plan of action to the President through the Domestic Policy Advisor to protect Second Amendment rights. Okay, real important. These are all, what he's saying is everything. We want to look at everything the executive branch can do. He didn't say anything about laws. He said orders, regulations, guidance, plans, international agreements. Those are all executive branch. He's not a legislator. It's not the legislative branch. So, it's a little bit smaller scope than just looking at the entire picture of the United States and seeing, hey, what are we going to just overcome? In developing such proposed plan of action, the Attorney General shall review at a minimum. So this isn't, he's not limiting that scope. He's actually saying, hey, this is the minimum, but you can go above and beyond. All presidential and agencies' actions from January 2021 through January 2025. So basically he's looking at the Biden administration, because the Biden administration did do some anti-gun stuff, and they did it real quick once he got elected. So let's see, rules promulgated by the Department of Justice, including by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives from January 2021 through January 2025, pertaining to firearms and our federal firearms licensees. Agencies' plans, orders, and actions regarding the so-called enhanced regulatory enforcement policy. So that's an exact quote from the Biden administration. They did enhanced regulatory enforcement policy. And this is pertaining to firearms and or federal firearms licensees. Okay. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm Michael from Gun Owners Radio. If you liked what you saw, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and make a comment. Help us out. Go to gunownersradio.com. Thanks for watching.